Boy, this popped up right after I cut that last video off because this is true too. Because I experienced this. Um, when I was a little boy, I used to get labeled as being really shy. That as my mother would tell me that your child likes to play by himself. He doesn't need to play with another group. It's like his mind is occupied doing other things. So if you're on a soul journey led by your spirit, remember, there's your journey, my journey. So my spirit is leading me in order to learn what it is I'm supposed to learn, and that's your coursework, right? Which is sort of like what I was trying to share with this other gentleman that friended me is I don't need to relearn things that I've already learned already, like a long, long, long time ago. Now, that doesn't mean there isn't something new to learn, but if it is, then my spirit will lead me to that. That's one of the things that Patty Broussard mentioned. As soon as she said, it's like, of course. When you are with the light, was intelligent energy. Your spirit, which is intelligent energy, which is in the light, which is what love is connected to other light, which is other intelligence, which is other spirits that are communicating with you because you're getting those transmission signals through your heart and your soul. In other words, the universe of creation that you're associated with as a co-creator has ways to communicate with you, including your equipment, to let you know what you need to learn that you don't need to learn because you've already learned it, which means what you're learning new is what you're supposed to learn as you know it, which means now I know why I'm supposed to learn it. But you got to know the difference when you're running a calculator between delete it, put it in memory, don't put it in memory. As a reason in which those bits and bytes and pieces of information might be related to programming that you don't want to record into your memory because you just remember you're running your own computer, right? Your own supercomputer with your neural ions, with your soul, consciousness, and spirit. So now we're into what we call timeline management, because there's their timeline, your timeline, the one that you're managing with your energy to do what it is you do with your energy and what I do with my energy, right? So there are those subtle differences. But I suppose what I left out of this last transmission was important about what we call leaders and followers. And then all of a sudden, memories popped up. And I thought, man, I was running a scout ship a long time ago. Starfleets. Yeah, I was in a Starfleet once. And then a long time ago, when they said that memories are being pushed back, I thought, Starfleet commander. I've been a Starfleet commander before. Wow, that was really so long ago. Whoa. And I wasn't able to tie that into later because I normally am not a spirit guiding my soul, which is integrated. Because an example of that would be, for example, they pinned bars on me. They said, here's a uniform you're going to wear, which is a dark blue Navy uniform with dark blue pants, a leather belt, and a silver buckle. So this is when your shoes got to be shined. Everything's got, in other words, this is back in military academy when if you had a thread that laid out of one of your buttons, that was called a demerit. Ooh, all your ducks better be in a row. That's all programming to a hierarchical standard, right? Remember the pyramid with the capstone on the top? That's programming. So when you're aware of the programming, because remember I shared about before about mother and father being on top with their children, the parents of the children, because I was born from parents that are one, which means I've never experienced anything less than what eternal love is, eternal unconditional love, which is pure light, which is pure energy. That's all I've ever known. So when I was born into this realm, I realized, what happened? What happened? I'm not supposed to experience anything less than the purest of light, which is the purest of energy through your heart and your soul. What happened? How'd I end up here? See, that's always been my favorite reference when I was a child. So I've never thought about leaders and followers. I've always thought about I'm equal unto all, which is like why we sit in a circle, which is a council, which means we can all see each other. I am what love is. You are what love is, because love is creation energy that flows through all of our hearts and all of our souls. So we become one within that circle, experiencing what love is through all of our hearts and souls. That's a circle of light. teaching council or council fire in which we're sharing what we're experiencing for whatever reason we decide to come together in that circle fire. That's a council fire, right? With the spirit of fire. Yeah. And the water worlds come together that way. So in other words, I'm not more than what you are. So an example of that would be when they pinned captain's bars on me, I took that shirt off and put it in the locker because it's not about rank and horsepower, right? It's about being an energy giver as a real star. I'm giving energy away, okay? My dad grew up with this stuff. You know, he used to tell me, what's your rank and horsepower? I mean, how fast is my drive motor? How about a real star? Gifting energy away, Pop. Gifting energy away. So it means you're not following anybody. Okay? You have an intuition. You have your own soul with your spirit that is guiding you. Okay? So you're on a journey, a soul's journey. Okay? So that means that your spirit is free. You're a free spirit because love is what frees you. Okay? So in other words, when you've done the inner work and you realize that you are what love is, then you are naturally like a living example, which is living energy, which is living light and living spirit with a soul. That lets others know who you are. The energy is an example of your journey, the one you took as a pathway to learn through. Okay? It's called a path. You're on a path. You're on a path through the light. So the spirits that are in the light are all sacred temples that we have an equal relationship with because we all work together in what we call harmony. Harmony. Harmonics. Waveform harmonics. So there are no distortions in those radio stars. Radii, neuroions, neurons. There are no distortions in the way those elements come to work on behalf of what's in harmony and balance with all those spirals, with all those vortexes, with all those elementals, with our living spirit and living water, with the living spirit of fire, with the living spirit of wind, right? With the living spirit of the earth. So you have the breath of Holy Spirit between a father and a mother that are mated as one with all of creation. So, you know, it began with an awful lot of fire, which is a soul fire, man. I got a lot of love in my heart. So when you know that as a child, that when you say, I love you forever and always, you actually feel it within your own heart, the power of how much energy that actually is that can be expressed creatively. If a girl wanted to say, well, how much do you really love me? You'd be surprised. The intensity of that fire actually skyrockets and goes ballistic. That's what I experienced. So in the most real terms I know, it's about giving energy away without having to think about it, which means it's on autopilot. You know, the pilot flame on a gas oven or a gas stove, that baby's always lit like a blue flame, blue star, Blu Ka. Yeah. You want to see some blue star power? Go look at the Blu Ka on Project Ascension. Blue star, Blu Ka, blue light, blue starlight. Yeah. Have a good night.